and the list goes on. Really, the only threatening enemy challenge was the one with Sniper Joe and Docrons that just felt more unfair and dumb than actually challenging. There's some okay challenges with Sheepman platforms, but the setups are far from interesting. It's just a really confusing and weird level overall. It also reeks of lack of testing, because there's a Mega Man 10 Crusher that crashes the game somehow right after you encounter it. I had to move it myself to make the level beatable. I don't know, man. This level is just so broken. The biggest example is the checkpoint in the Snakey room. The Snakey will still be on the screen when you respawn, and will be able to shoot the player, making it harder to get to the ladder. The whole level just felt like it was tested with weapons. And a lot of rooms had to get through without using super arrow or wire adapter to get to certain areas. This stage confuses me the longer I stay in it, to be honest. The theme of using disappearing blocks is hinted at, but they often take a backseat to the random enemy encounters, often with the amount of enemies too large to be healthy in a capacity. There's a part at the start of the level where it looks like left is the way to go. It only leads to a wall, rendering all the enemies in that room useless. The final corridor is completely empty, leading me to believe that this level was left unfinished. There's a broken ladder near the end of the stage, and the boss room expects the player to read the message before Voltman is defeated, but any sane player will take care of the boss first. This level is all over the place. I didn't find it to be all that enjoyable. Sorry. I also don't see anything that could potentially be interesting in this stage. The concept in general is pretty flawed, and it's just a generic level painted in a Lec-Man stage. My biggest issue, in my opinion, is the level design, which, depending on the section, is either filled with poorly placed obstacles, enemies are empty and absolutely boring, or it happens to be that one where there are so many spawning enemies and obstacles that's practically impossible to avoid them without taking damage. At least the music choice is fine, but I can't think of anything else positive to say. This is, at its heart, an incredibly average stage because nothing about the ideas or the layout here is necessarily bad in any way. Some things are used okay, weird enemy selection every so often, and there's a good idea here that's let down by the horrifically lazy execution. So you're taking an already average stage and making it worse. Was there any playtesting? I came across a ton of errors that even a first playthrough of the stage would catch. There's misplaced and missing collision blocks. For example, there's a very obvious non-functional ladder that will kill the player if they try to use it. Overlapping Sheepman blocks, and frankly, I'm not even sure if the Gutsman lift Noble Nickel is even possible without Rush or the Super Arrow, despite it looking like it should be. There's a screen where an invisible block stops from proceeding unless you slide underneath said invisible block. Fixed post judging. And hell, one of the jumps would be borderline impossible except for the collision detection not being present where it logically should be. Nope. Your checkpoint placement is bizarre. The player spawns next to a mini-boss. The layout makes the player waste time. Enemies despawn themselves on static screens. Gimmicks show up once and never used again. And for some reason, you stuck with the barriers, one of the barriers from Frostman's level in the most inappropriate place you can put them. Final point. This has got to be the worst possible way you could implement a fan robot master. I know you don't have to know how to code to enter this, but at least replace Voltman's graphics. If you wanted a cameo that badly, he needed to be placed before the boss fight, because no one in their right mind is going to talk to him in the middle of a fight with Voltman, which is the text seems to indicate that this was the intention. This isn't the worst level ever, but it might very well be the laziest. Put a bit more effort into it. Ugh! I can't believe this is the only place in the festival with enough water for me to visit. It's the sewer. This sucks. I'm loving this festival. Although, when I come to this area of the festival, I start feeling ill for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on why. I convey to you now a particular message of which pertains to me acknowledging the existence of one who has recently come into the close proximity of me as be able to communicate effectively. Dive man. They told me that there'd be a treasure down here, but I've spent hours here and found nothing. 69th by NatNat Gaming 101. Dragon Lab Lair with a score of 18.6. Oh god, the default engine music. The default engine music is either really loud Galaxy Man or it's the Pharaoh Man music. And we have what looks like Plugman tile set. Which is excusable. I mean, making graphic tile sets is probably not the most exciting thing to be doing in the world. Oh hey, required flash stopper segment. Ow! Force damage. Sploosh. That was a really ungraceful tile set change. Nomph. Nomph. Oh jeez, okay. I thought I jumped a little early there. Oh my gosh. Also love that they're placed in such a way that they, oh no. Why am I doing this? I mean, thank you for putting in a floor for the dragon fight, but it totally trivializes it. Feels incredibly empty, and the ideas just seem randomly thrown down. There's no real coherent theme, and it's just rooms of stuff. Sometimes there's just like one easily dodged enemy the whole screen with absolutely nothing else happening. Then the level just catches you off guard sometimes by actual forced hits. And one really annoying part I just cheesed with Jewel Satellite. Other than that, there's not much going on. A lot of the setups are extremely basic. They don't really do anything new. The Mecha Dragon fight at the end doesn't even have a pit, which kind of destroys the whole point of the Mecha Dragon fight. First of all, you didn't change the music. Why? Because, like, the default engine music's really fucking loud. It's, like, almost, like, ugh. It's just not good. Anyway, this is a weird level. The tile set wasn't used very well, and the whole thing's just felt strange and without real theme. At least there appeared to be some effort put in. The level starts out decently, but quickly loses focus and starts throwing the player into unfair scenarios. Force them to take a hit. As the level goes on, it starts using elements without proper introduction in tricky scenarios. The level boss fight was, for my experience, less difficult than getting through the section after the player exits the water. Overall, the level's main issue is its lack of general theme that could have been used to create setups and situations that create mutations of these and keep the player excited. I'm not a huge fan of this stage. Most of it just feels boring and empty and uses default music, and some sections are atrociously unfair. I don't really know what else to say. There's nothing interesting at all in this about this level. First impressions are not good. Please replace the default music. That might have been the worst tile set selection possible for a full-on level. Mega Man 2 Wily 5 is a boss rush stage. It wasn't built for an entire platforming level. There's nothing really good about this. One few gimmicks that are fully implementation, like the one exception. It was the final set of Sheepman blocks provided mild peril. There's some major flaws in this stage, though, that knock its score down, too. Too much force damage, pits really designed as pits. Enemies placed right next to the screen transitions. It's fairly clear that this is a first draft level. Fortunately, this level isn't broken or anything. It's still pretty bad. Sorry. You can't control this game with a D-pad. Lastly, you know, making a dev kit boss easier than its original incarnation sort of defeats the purpose and point of using a dev kit boss. This water is rather soiled. You could be so uncouth as to reach such squalor. 68th place. Chingoku Colorful Hall. Score 19.2. I remember this one's actually kind of alright. Oh right! Oh god. Red number 1. This level's stupid. Like, it starts out good, but it's like Also, please don't put Fan Fiend in. Please stop. Thank you. I'm not a fan of Fan Fiend. These blend into the background. Not good. Green number 2.